Our main man is in stir. Phil, give me 5, big guy. There you go. He's always at Wrigley Field. And here he is on this busy day. Good to have you with us. Thanks so much. He's going to the big party tonight. Bruce is going to join him. The holiday party that MLB Network is putting together. Is it at a bowling alley again? Or it was splurge. I don't even know. But anyway, I'm having fun.
Big soiree. It's a soiree.
I'm having laughs. What's the big? Hey, Cubs and White Sox. Let's do Cubs first with Darvish. What's your thoughts on these meetings that I guess they had this past week in Dallas?
Well, number one, Darvish conducted the 3.5-hour meeting with Theo Epstein and Jed Hoyer, all in English, no translator. Big props for
very good
for Darvish. I mean, this is a guy that is a smart guy, and I think that would have really impressed the Cubs.
They are not intimidated or concerned by his 2 starts in the World Series.
No, I think they saw him. Wrigley Field, he just absolutely mowed them down.
5 innings, but I know.
But, it was the full collection. You hear the transformation when he got to L.A. He changed some things from the way he pitched in Texas. Certain things that the Rangers didn't want him to do that he went back to doing. And talking to Japanese reporters that have been around him forever.
Right.
I mean, they saw at the end of last year the guy they really expected to see the whole time he's been here in Major League Baseball. And he really has only had it sort of in flashes and spurts. But I think there is a feeling, and it's maybe counterintuitive going off of what we saw against the Astros, but that, the best could be ahead for this guy.
A lot of people have brought it up to me that now the Cubs will be in the big market next year with the Dodgers and probably the Yankees. Not so much for Machado, and the Yankees won't be here for Harper, but the Cubs will make a big investment, a big run at him, and give him $300 million and make him the foundation of the team. This is a team with a lot of young players, big contracts. They're going to have to pay Bryant eventually. You know the owner better than I do. Do you see them going in this direction in the winter of 2018 in Vegas?
I don't really see Bryce Harper, how he fits, but there is so much smoke there. I mean,
Well, they gave Hayward all that money, so that hasn't worked out. So where are they going to play Harper?
You could play Hayward in center field. Hayward could be, I think, an above-average defensive center fielder. I think he is. But he's the best defensive right fielder. That's his biggest value is, there's nobody that controls right field the way he does. And, you still have him for years and years on that contract. So, to me, could their finances do it? Yes. Can they make it work against the payroll tax? That's dubious. But, could they start to become like teams have in the past? The Dodgers did for years, the Yankees used to, and just pay that tax on top of it. They could if they wanted to. And Tom Ricketts has been willing to spend like that. His investments around Wrigley Field, they will finally, like Wrigley Field is a disaster again this offseason, and it's a disaster because they're making it really nice. And as soon as every season ends, they go in and they start.
You can't move. The hotels, the restaurants, it's a mess, no question.
And they're getting to the point where they're going to complete that project, and they have 2 more years on their current regional cable contract. They've been doing this without the real
So the big money
television.
for them. So they're going to have the money.
Future.
If they want to do it, financially they can do it. How about the White Sox with Machado? What's your thoughts there, Phil? Was that a possibility? Now, would they flip him to the Yankees? Would they convince Machado to be a shortstop and then pay him? Maybe the Orioles trade him. What can you tell me about the Machado or the White Sox rumors?
Well, they're legitimate. I mean, they have real interest in him, but it isn't to get him to flip him. It's to get him to have a better chance. I know they don't think that he's going to get there, fall in love with them, and give them the hometown discount and stay. But I think they look at this upcoming free agent period. They will have money to spend, but their narrative isn't exactly what you would want in the rebuilding team. Because you're going to be competing for those top guys with the power franchises in baseball. So, I think they're trying to give themselves an edge to where maybe
Machado,
they can find
he's comfortable, he plays well, Reinsdorf gets into it, next thing you know, they give him $300 million. And they can afford to do it because they haven't spent money on anybody in a long period of time.
And while their fans really do like Jose Abreu and the young players they're bringing into the organization, a lot what they have going on in the pipeline, You know, a little buzz at the major league level wouldn't hurt anything. You know, they have TV deals that are coming up. You know, they have tickets to sell. And I think adding a name to this young core would really have a lot of capital.
All right, so they would, if they do ever make this trade, they would not flip him to the Yankees. That would not occur.
Well,
I mean, I guess it's possible.
yeah,
Yankees
it's possible. Well, here's what
But that's not their intention going into the trade.
No, here's the way I believe it would play out, is that they would bring in Machado, bring him to spring training, let him get to know all of the young talent they have. Much of it is Latin America talent. The fact he grew up in Miami, but has family roots in the Dominican, I think makes him a strong guy to be a mentor, a role model for those guys. So, you know, I think then at some point in the middle of the season, July, you know, if you're Rick Hahn and Jerry Reinsdorf, you figure out what's our best offer to try to keep him,
right,
and you try to extend him before the July 31st deadline. And if, you know, it's like, well, we've enjoyed the experience, but you know, we're this close to free agency, we're going to go on the market.
But you can't give up a lot of...
Then I think they would flip him and try to get back what they invested in him.
Good job. Phil, pleasure. Thanks for coming by and joining the party.
Thanks, Christopher.